Hello everyone and welcome to Big Talk. Tonight on the program we'll begin with the story coming in from Edo State. The former president of the Nigerian Bar Association and governorship candidate of the Labour Party for the September 21st Edo governorship election, Olumide Akpata, is again calling on Governor Obaseki to swear in the remaining 3 judges recommended by the National Judicial Council for the state's judiciary. Akpata is asking Obaseki to swear in the remaining 3 judges. He's alleging that Obaseki selectively swore in the only 5 out of the 8 recommended judges. Well, tonight on the program, we'll be taking a look at the fact that in Rivers State crisis, elder statesman Edwin Clark has written to President Bola Tinubu seeking his intervention over the lingering crisis rocking the Rivers State. In a letter dated June 25, 2024, the former Federal Commissioner for Information and South-South leader Chief Edwin Clark has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to immediately address the escalating political crisis in Rivers State. Clark's letter called on the President to restrain the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and allowed elected Governor Fubara to govern the state without interference. Comrade James Exama, the publisher, the street reporter, newspaper, and the president of the Association of Bloggers and Journalists, joins us on the program tonight to share the look and to take a look at the call by Clark on the president's intervention in the Rivers State politics. Good evening and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good evening. Yes.
Thank you so much. A bit of looking at what is happening in Rivers State. I understand that, as a Nigerian and someone who is also taking out time to push content out there, you understand the implications of crisis in governance, and most especially when it comes to the point where the governor himself this time has been distracted over time. Pointed fingers have been made towards former Governor Wike to allow Rivers to be. To you, do you feel that President probably is just so economical, either with words or actions taken to draw the attention of Minister Wike to order? Because it simply means that even the last meeting that they had at the Aso Rock with the governor and all of that hasn't really yielded a lot of good results, because this has also been a concern for many Nigerians as to what likely may play out if they do not manage the situation right now. Because now the local government is at the picture. Chairman, some persons who were elected to be in office for the period of 3 years are refusing to go. It has never been in any practice, asking for, extension of tenure. To you, what can you really put out to what Edwin Clark is calling on the president?
Well, first of all, in a normal democratic situation, Nigeria is a federal system of government. And the president, as it were, has no business in the states.
Absolutely.
And how the states are run is none of his business, because he is the president of Nigeria, but the federating units, which are in this instance the states, are independent units. They have a governor who is the sovereign sort of in that state, who is the executive, who has executive powers. And then the president, as the president of a country, can only try as much as possible to mediate where necessary, just because he just wants peace around the country, but not as if it is his primary duty to go and start meddling into the affairs of any state. It is just an aberration that we are finding ourselves in these days, because you see former governors trying to go, to interfere with the person they must have handpicked, for the people. And that brings us to the point that we should now begin to rethink. Some of these governors should begin to rethink governance, because it is not about who is in power when you are out of the office. It is about how you were able to govern as the chief executive of the state. That's what we speak for you. It's not about somebody who will protect you, somebody who will not fight you. And we have seen over time that he's not working. He has not worked virtually in all the states. So it is a big problem. But Clark did what he could do because he himself has been talking, and the people that seem to be involved, the players seem not to be listening. So I think it was out of frustration that he was now calling on Mr. President to come and intervene. Because it's unfortunate that we find ourselves here, but it's not the business of the president, really.
I mean, the All Progressive Congress started the call. The other angle, they were calling on the president to declare state of emergency in Rivers State. There were several arguments that, this doesn't really warrant, the position and the play out of share of power by the chairman and some resistors, doesn't really warrant state of emergency to you, because these are two different calls. The other one, Edwin Clark, is calling on the president for intervention, probably diplomatically. And you've also stated, which other people have also stated on the program, that it's not the job of the president to really have to interfere. That initially, he ought not to have, went into any agreement with them, because it seems there were a gentleman agreement that they did at Aso Rock that probably Fubara is not obliging, and this also make a reputation of the House of Assembly crisis. And again, calling on the president to declare state of emergency by the All Progressive Congress. Do you feel that they're in a hurry to either cause more chaos in the city? Because you understand what the implication of declaring a state of emergency really means.
You see, in the first place, it was the president's intervention that misled some of these lawmakers that have lost their seat to believe that the president can control a governor of a state. It's not possible. No president can control a governor of a state unless that governor of that state does not know that he possesses executive power and he has the same immunity that the president has. So when all these things started, some of these the 27 lawmakers felt that, look, we have the president on at our beck and call, and then we have a federal minister who is also like equivalent of a governor in FCT, who is a right-hand man of Mr. President. Oh, whatever it tells Mr. President will do. See, anybody that knows Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we know that he's not somebody that dances to anything. He looks before he can leap. His intervention at the initial time was a way of, okay, the government is young, they probably did not want a kind of, something that will snowball into something bigger than what people, because at that time there was fears here and there. People were saying, oh, this thing will go down to like something like the Wild Wild West, and it could cause destabilization of the entire country. If you're a president, you want to find a way to show concern. They brought them together, they agreed, and they signed the agreement. Even though, as the governor signed, most people were against him. They say, why should the president coerce you into signing? He said, no, don't worry. Because probably he thought that the other parties to the issue will keep to their own bargain. But rather than come together and work together to see how they can govern the state, what the lawmakers were doing was to be passing all kinds of laws that does not have any bearing to governance, some just because they just want to exercise judicial.
They're even the cause of this issue, because the local government chairman are quoting that it is from the House that, granted the issues of extension, that they consider that.
You see, it's very, very laughable when somebody will come and make argument that there was an extension of tenure for an elected officer. It's just like the president of Nigeria one day will wake up one morning and say, National Assembly, extend my tenure. Or the state governor will say, oh, in my tenure May 29, I'm not leaving.
I'm not ready.
I'm not leaving. I want to have some things to complete. I have some assignments I have not executed by May 29. Oh, State House of Assembly, please help me and extend my tenure so that I will spend the next 3 months. Even the next 1 day, you are not permitted by law because you are elected, and this is a tenure system. The Constitution recognizes a 4-year tenure. The day you were sworn in, is the day your tenure start counting by the Supreme Court judgment. So
even if you have distractions in the court,
no, that's whatever it is. You have to go, even if there is anything. No, during that in the build up to the election, people were saying, "Oh, there's issues concerning election petition and all that." Okay, they could declare state of emergency and they will not hand over, and then they will withhold inauguration. I said, I used to laugh. I said, how can you be talking about? There's nothing that will make the president not to leave when it is made with that, because there's nothing under which law is he going to remain in office. There's no law that guarantees you, unless you are no more practicing democracy. If you are no more practicing democracy, fine. Then you know that if the president decides to stay beyond the May 29 that of the 40th year of his tenure, then what has happened is that a coup has taken place.
You are forcefully staying in office.
That is it. A coup has taken place.
Just like what
and that's what they want to do in local government.
The Labour Party yesterday, where they're asking Abure to leave, even when the fact that the Senate has
well, the thing is the Labour Party issue is another level situation.
We are focusing on Rivers.
We will have a time to discuss that.
We are focusing on Rivers.
Because unfortunately, what is playing out is not what anybody should.
Because you are afraid that a template, if being allowed to happen in Rivers, may be repetition cases in other state and in other local government. Because when you look at the fact that people are watching, as you said, in there for me is that someone will also wake up one day, and declares, asks for issues of elongation and all of that. To you, what way? Because it seems that also the way the governor or whosoever, all the people are managing this, they are going against the law, because there are also lawful way of executing some of those things. Look at the youth protested at the secretariat. And now the IG have sent, police officers to also barricade the different secretariat.
Yeah.
Closing down the secretariat, restricting workers who are meant to go to work, and even the NOGE themselves are now also calling on the police and the IG to vacate the secretariat so that they can go to work. There are also APC is also accusing NOGE for also engaging in politics, also to meddle into the issues of politics and all of that. Because people are watching. To you, what other way? Because if you look at litigation, already we have so many litigations of Rivers State already in the court. So it seems to some persons that we can't rely on the court this time. We can't wait for the court order and all of that. So they should start taking the laws into their hand. Are you not worried about the excessive rascality in Rivers State?
You see, in a democracy, there's no room for self-help. Once you abandon the path of the rule of law, no matter how much in a hurry you are, and you abandon the path of rule of law, you are endangering the democracy itself. So if you claim that you are protecting democracy and you are towing the path that is outside of the rule of law, you are on your own endangering the same democracy you are thinking you are protecting, because there is no other shortcut. There's no other shortcut. So there's no way you can say that because I am in a hurry to get justice, and the justice system is delaying, then let me go and do whatever I like. No, you don't do that, because at the end of the day, what you are trying to create is anarchy. And anarchy is not a friend to democracy, because you will become the rule of might rather than the rule of law. So we should begin to rethink the kind of democracy we are practicing. Because what we are practicing in Nigeria that we call democracy most times is not democracy. Because now, if you say you are practicing democracy, a governor came out, somebody who was a former governor is coming out to boast that I am the one that put you there.
I bought form for you.
I bought form for everybody. And how can you even be talking like that in a democracy? How can you come out and be saying that you bought in a normal democratic setting? You cannot even say that. You cannot even come
Now
to
you
tell the
single-handedly
people that you
bought
single-handedly
bought
bought
forms.
form for everybody. In other words, what you have said is that you made the choice for the people. And the people does not matter. The party does not matter. There's nothing that matters except you. So it's very, very shameful to come and be making that kind of utterance. No, you don't do that in a democracy. Democratic setting, you allow the will of the people. Even if you think that what the majority has chosen for themselves is wrong, you leave them with it. They are the ones to live with the consequences. It's not for you to now tell them, look, no, the choice you are making is, I don't like it. The choice you are making is not okay. I have a better choice for you. There's nothing like that in a true democracy. Unless somebody just trying to say that he's practicing something else other than democracy, then at that stage, you can decide to choose for the people. But when it is a government of the people, the choice also has to be by the people. So that is how it is.
When I was growing up, I mean, even when I didn't have more knowledge about government, I used to hear that court and judiciary is the last hope of the common man.
Exactly.
But it seems right now that it looks like judiciary have also been dragged into politics, because we look at the different judgment.
Yeah.
We look at the different clause. We look at the issues, different interpretation coming in from the court, lower and higher court. It's conflicting. Sometimes you can even see in the case of Kano State, where we've also had issues of conflicting court order, distracting, the issues of Emirship tussle and over there. In River State, we're finding here that sometimes we are not seeing the clear interpretation, a judgment that can lead the people out of this. It's also causing confusion, because the moment you do not give good judgment, or the moment your judgment is one-sided, these other people who feel that you did not give good judgment may also have to retaliate. To you, what is your call, or what is your concern about the judiciary in a role to rescue the ongoing crisis in River State?
You see, the job of the judiciary is to remain an unbiased, rule of law compliant party in a government. We are not supposed to be seen to be dancing to the tune of any of the interests. No. One of the major problems we have in Nigeria is that the judiciary has more or less become an arm of the executive, or an arm or a tool for the politicians to use at any time they like. You see, it will interest you to know that sometimes when they want to assign cases, people will want their cases to be assigned to a friendly judge or somebody who they believe that will dance to their tune. Rather than people look for justice, they are looking for favor in the temple of justice. It is an aberration. You don't go to the temple of justice to look for favor. No, you go to the temple of justice to look for justice. If you feel that what you have, or whatever interest that you have, is being jeopardized by anything, the best place to go is to go to the courts, so that the courts can interpret the law in their own wisdom. Sometimes people get carried away because they think that law and is just like logic. Okay, 1 + 1 is 2. No, sometimes interpretation of the law is 1 + 1 can be 10. So in that situation, some people think that there's a miscarriage of justice. But the truth of the matter is that it's because people are not seeing justice being done.
The confidence of the Nigerians are not there.
Yes, because over time they have seen this kind of manipulations, black market, what they call black market judgments. People will just go to the court, procure judgment.
Did not win election in the primaries. At the end of the day, the court declares him winner of a particular party. It happens.
That is, you see, when it comes to politics in Nigeria, the judiciary is just, I don't know how to describe it. They are just a tool in the hand of the politicians. When it comes to every other aspect of our judicial system, the judiciary, they are doing very well. But anything that a politician touches, he must corrupt. That is the reality. The reality is that a politician touches anything, is corrupt. It corrupts the system, it corrupts the law, it corrupts the every aspect of the society. And because the politicians, they want it by hook or by crook, because their interest is not the people. The interest is just what they can gain. The perk of office. What are the things that I'm going to gain by being in this office for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my cronies, and all that. So they're not interested about the people. The people does not make sense where they are. Otherwise, how can you, if you are thinking about the people, how can you decide to say you are imposing a leader on the people when you are leaving office? Probably you are going to, as if you buy the form, you will now get the delegates to vote for the person. Then you now have to get the people to vote for the person. And where the people refuse to vote for the person, you now have to go to INEC to bribe them, or by hook or by crook, to get them to declare your candidate the winner of. That is not a democracy. It's not a democracy. In a democracy, if you don't win, you should be happy. You participated in the process and you helped, to make the process more robust by you competing. It's just like when you go to a football match. Yes, it's painful that you lost, but do you go and start fighting? Do you go and start quarreling? Do you go and start taking up arms against the other person because the person defeated you? No. There's another day. You go and prepare, come back, and you take up the contest again, and
you fight and run away.
You definitely fight again. You live to fight another day.
Another day.
Yeah.
Look at also away from the judiciary now, the issues of our security agency as well. Barricading the secretariat, as I said, restricting workers who are meant to go to their normal works and all of that, is also a concern. And for them, they have also come out to call on the IG and all of those. And the IG and some of the police officers said to them, we received the order from the federal. So this also gives questions to the fact that if we cannot have state police, probably a situation like this would have been well managed, because issues of receiving an order from the federal and also coming to exercise it in the state, to the point of locking and barricading the secretariat and sending out the people and the workers and all the facilities and the environment over there. To you, what is your concern about that action by the security officers?
You see, the problem in Nigeria is that like I said, everything that the politicians get involved in, they will corrupt them. You see, the police at the entrances of the secretariats cannot be blamed. The policeman at the end, because he's only following orders. It is the leaders, the leadership of the police, and those who influence the leadership of the police to go about disrupting a democratic system, is the people that one will say, what is the problem? Now, also, there's a lot of issues around that. Now, in a democracy, you cannot even say after the tenure of an elected officer, then you are appointing someone else to man the office. No, it's by the constitution stipulated that there will be an election. Somebody has finished his tenure. You now say you are appointing a governor that will replace the governor that have finished, instead of conducting election. And that is the problem we have, why the third tier of government is not functioning. Because the state governors control them. They are the ones that decide who becomes elected and who does not become elected. They are the ones that decide who even buy forms. If they can do that in the federal, concerning the federal legislators' position, and as some people are saying, they bought form for everybody. Now you discover that these things are going round around. It's because we don't even know. I don't think we understand democracy at all. Because if we do, some of these things will not happen. They will not happen. It is unfortunate, but we are here. And I pray that the powers that be will understand and say and do the right thing, because barricading the entrance of the, you're undermining the third tier of government. It's just like now somebody comes and say because there's a crisis in a state, you now barricade the entire secretariat, barricade the government house and say nobody should go inside, and you are receiving order from above. Or somebody that woke up and say, oh, I don't like as our president will be going to work today, let me go and block the road. No, these are the kind of anarchy that we create by ourselves, trying to protect the system. No. And then the appointment of local government chairman is also a problem. We cannot continue to appoint local government chairman. Local government chairman, these are the chief executives at the local government level. So you cannot continue to appoint them. In some states, you will see they don't even have appointed caretaker committee, as they call it. Some of them will just, like in what happened in Enugu State, where the governor just woke up and say, your tenure has finished, hand over to Sasu, and then the person handed over. There was no appointment of anybody. The government was running as if everything was normal. You know, these are the things that we see that it is not good for democracy. They are not good for democracy. We should learn to practice democracy so that at the end of the day, the people should be the ones that we should have their interests protected.
So now that you've identified all of this issue, finally, what's your also called? We've seen Edwin Clark has already called on the president to intervene. Would this solve the situation in Rivers? Because if you said you want to hope on the judiciary, it might take time, it might be delayed, and it might not resolve the issue, because every politicians are also trying to, take hold of some courts, because we don't even know the court order that will really work. So at this time, away from the Edwin Clark call, what do you think may be the lasting solution to this? Some people are saying remain in Abuja and do your work and allow the governor to decide. To you, anything differently?
I think when it comes to this Rivers crisis, the person that can decide that it is enough is actually the FCT minister. He's the one that can say, oh, this crisis should end now, and it will end. Why? Because most of the people that are fighting in Rivers against the government of the day are people who claim allegiance to the Rivers State, to former Rivers State governor. So it will be a big problem if we continue this way. It is time for everyone to caution themselves. The parties to these issues in Rivers should caution themselves, look at themselves and say, look, the people matter, and we should be the ones that will be moving and doing things in the interest of the people. If not, some people say it will end up like the so-called wild west. But I see these politicians, forget them, forget what they are doing. They know what to do. They know their limits. They know what they can. When they try their best, they know that this is the best we can do. And you see them.
So I mean, there's something so much important that they're also struggling for.
Yeah, certainly. It's power. It's power to share.
To take hold of 2027. Some people are saying that it's not a political moment for
2027 is the politics of 2027 is what they started even before they got sworn in. So it is a normal. Once you win an election, the next thing you are waiting for swearing in, and the other hand you are planning for the re-election. So that is a normal game for every politician. He thinks of the next election.
Many thanks, Comrade James Ezema, publisher of the Street Reporters newspaper and the president of Association of Bloggers and Journalists Against Fake News. Thanks for joining us on the program today. We deeply appreciate it. We do hope to have you more on the show.
Thank you very much.
And that's where I wrap it up here on Big Talk tonight. And of course, we're taking a glance at crisis in Rivers State. It seems we're not we may see peace coming in for the fact that some elders, even the Niger Delta regions and all of these people are calling on the president to intervene, to look at the lasting solution to the crisis right there in Rivers State. But to what end would this really be? Is for the prosperity of the country, because the issues of Rivers is an issue of Nigeria, recall of the statistics and the contributions to economic development of Rivers State to Nigeria. So we must have peace, lasting peace right there in Rivers State. My name is Edikan Michael, and it was glad that you had time to join us on the program tonight. See you again tomorrow as we take on another discussion. Good night and bye-bye for now.